Oh Dae-su, detained for inappropriate behavior on a train, claims it's his daughter's birthday but remains in police custody. After struggling with officers and being handcuffed, his friend Ju Hwan secures his release. While calling to apologize to his daughter, Dae-su mysteriously vanishes mid-conversation, leaving Ju Hwan stunned. Oh Dae-su awakens in a confined, windowless room, desperately pleading to understand the reason for his imprisonment. 2 months into his captivity, he survives on meals delivered through a small door, including sushi. One day, a sedative gas, identified as the same used by Russian forces against Chechen terrorists, fills the room, rendering him unconscious. 2 men enter Dae-su's room, giving him a haircut, changing his clothes and cleaning up the space before taking a blood sample. Upon waking, Dae-su watches a news report revealing that his wife has been murdered, and he is being blamed, as his blood and fingerprints were found at the crime scene. Overcome with panic and confusion, he begins to hallucinate, feeling ants crawling on him. In his distress, he shatters a mirror and collapses, losing consciousness once again. 3 years pass and Dae-su appears completely broken. His world revolves around television, which becomes his only connection to reality, his clock, his companion, and his solace. In an attempt to escape his torment, he tries to take his own life, but his captors intervene, resuscitating him. In the aftermath, he begins writing a journal, documenting his perceived sins and the darkness he believes he has succumbed to during his imprisonment. Over the course of his captivity, Dae-su begins to regain a sense of purpose. He learns shadowboxing and tattoos himself, marking each year of his imprisonment with a line on his body. Using a chopstick, he starts digging a tunnel, persevering for 11 years before discovering another wall beyond the one he breached. Finally, after 15 years, he breaks through to the outside world, feeling rain on his skin for the first time in over a decade. With renewed determination, he vows to escape fully within a month. As the gas begins to seep into his room once again, a woman enters and hypnotizes Dae-su, manipulating his mind. When he awakens, he finds himself on the rooftop of a building. There, he encounters a man with a dog, to whom he recounts his harrowing story. The man expresses a desire to share his own tale, but Dae-su leaves before hearing it. On his way down in a lift, he steals a woman's sunglasses. Meanwhile, the man on the roof, overcome by his own despair, leaps to his death. Unable to return home or contact anyone due to being falsely accused of his wife's murder, Dae-su channels his frustration and anger by practicing his boxing skills on local thugs. During this time, a mysterious beggar approaches him, offering both money and a mobile phone. The beggar warns Dae-su not to ask any questions, further deepening the mystery surrounding his situation. Dae-su visits a restaurant and orders something alive to eat. While there, he encounters Mi-do, the chef, who seems strangely familiar to him. As he contemplates the connection, he receives a call from his captor, who taunts him about his new clothes and asks if he recognizes him. Dae-su, unable to guess the captor's identity, is told that the man is an expert on his life. The captor then cryptically instructs him to reflect on his past, in order to uncover the reason behind his torment. After eating the live octopus, Dae-su collapses from exhaustion and strain. Mi-do, showing concern, takes him to her home and begins reading through his journals. She notes that his prolonged lack of sunlight has weakened his immune system, making him susceptible to influenza. While Mi-do enters the bathroom, Dae-su, overwhelmed by his emotions, follows her and attempts to force himself on her. She strikes him in the face, rejecting his actions. As he leaves, she explains that she resisted because he doesn't even know her name, but adds that, despite everything, she likes him. Mi-do tells Dae-su that they will be together when she is ready, and she opens up about her own loneliness, admitting that she too has hallucinated ants, a sign of her own psychological struggles. The two lie on the floor together, sharing a moment of connection. As they discuss Dae-su's past, they focus on finding information about his daughter, who was adopted after his kidnapping. Mi-do helps him track down her address. Dae-su, determined to reconnect with his daughter, decides he will first confront and kill his captor before seeking out his child. Dae-su embarks on a search for the sushi served to him during his captivity, sampling from various restaurants to find the exact one. Meanwhile, Mi-do secretly chats online with someone about Dae-su, which causes him to become angry and distrustful, prompting him to leave. Eventually, Dae-su tracks down the right restaurant and follows its delivery man, leading him to the location of his prison. He discovers that it is a private facility where people pay to imprison others, primarily targeting low-profile individuals. In a fit of rage and desperation for answers, Dae-su tortures the prison's warden, Park Chan-wook, pulling 15 of his teeth, one for each year of his captivity, in an attempt to force him to reveal the truth. Park reveals that he never saw the face of the man behind Dae-su's imprisonment, but he had recorded all the calls. Dae-su takes the tape and, with renewed determination, fights his way through the prison's goons. Despite being stabbed in the back by one of them, he continues to push forward. As he nears his escape, more goons arrive to stop him, but Dae-su manages to overpower them all. In the midst of his violent struggle, he begins to question whether, after taking his revenge, he will ever be able to return to the person he once was, or if he has become too much of a monster in the process. After collapsing on the street from blood loss, a stranger comes to Dae-su's aid, directing him to Mi-do's home. As he helps him, the stranger cryptically says, "Farewell, Dae-su," revealing himself to be one of Dae-su's captors. Once home, Dae-su listens to the tape and learns the shocking truth. He was imprisoned for talking too much. The next day, Dae-su visits his old friend Ju-hwan, and in an attempt to piece together his past, shows him the tape, hoping for answers or validation. Dae-su tracks down Evergreen, the person Mi-do was speaking to online. Evergreen, remaining enigmatic, tells Dae-su that he must uncover the answers on his own, first discovering who is responsible, and then why. He gives Dae-su a 5-day deadline. If he succeeds, Evergreen will take his own life. If he fails, he will kill Mi-do. In a chilling twist, Evergreen reveals that he has a mechanical heart, controlled by a remote. He warns Dae-su that if he tortures him, he will stop his heart, and if Dae-su kills him, he will never learn the reason behind his captivity. Evergreen taunts Dae-su, remarking that vengeance is therapeutic in the moment but ultimately fleeting, as all the pain eventually resurfaces. Meanwhile, Park Chan-wook captures both Mi-do and Dae-su, seeking revenge by attempting to pull out Dae-su's teeth. However, Dae-su begins laughing maniacally, unnerving Park. At that moment, Park receives a call from Evergreen, who offers him money in exchange for releasing Dae-su. Despite being freed, Dae-su, consumed by rage, urges Park to fight back, declaring his intent to sever Park's hand as retribution for touching Mi-do. As Dae-su and Mi-do grow closer, their bond deepens, culminating in them making out. However, their moment is interrupted when gas fills the room, rendering them unconscious. Two men enter, leaving a mysterious gift on the table. When they awaken, Dae-su and Mi-do discover the gruesome gift, Park's severed hand. Realizing that his captor must have been monitoring him to know about the hand, Dae-su suspects he is being bugged. He visits a shop and persuades the shopkeeper to help locate the bug. After a thorough search, they discover the listening device hidden in Dae-su's shoe. Dae-su and Mi-do investigate everything connected to Evergreen, uncovering a link to Sangnok High School. Visiting the school, they discover that Evergreen, whose real name is Lee Woo-jin, was a member of the class of '97. Among the findings is a brochure for Scissorhand Hair Salon, adding another clue. Their search leads them to learn about Lee Soo-ah, Woo-jin's sister, who had been in the same class as Ju-hwan. When confronted, Ju-hwan reveals a dark truth. Lee Soo-ah had died by suicide, jumping from a dam and drowning. Ju-hwan dismissively tells Dae-su that Lee Soo-ah was promiscuous and would sleep with anyone she could find. Unbeknownst to Ju-hwan, Lee Woo-jin is sitting in his cafe listening to their call. Enraged by Ju-hwan's comments about his sister, Lee Woo-jin murders him. Taking the headphones, Lee Woo-jin contacts Dae-su directly, insisting that his sister was not a promiscuous, and explaining that he had to reveal himself because Dae-su had eliminated the bugs used to spy on him. Determined to uncover more, Dae-su visits the dentist who repaired Park's teeth. From there, he contacts Park and arranges to meet him at the very room where he was held captive for 15 years, retracing the steps of his torment. Park, embittered by Lee Woo-jin severing his hand, decides to ally with Dae-su. In preparation, Dae-su locks Mi-do in a room for her safety and instructs Park to release her if he doesn't return by July 5th. Determined to uncover the truth, Dae-su visits the Scissorhand Hair Salon. The salon owner reveals a different perspective on Lee Soo-ah, stating that she was a kind-hearted girl and not promiscuous as the rumors suggested. She mentions that Soo-ah did have a boyfriend and that her suicide was not due to the promiscuous rumors, but because of a false pregnancy. The woman adds that it was Ju-hwan who told her about this and cryptically suggests that Dae-su might already know the full truth himself. Dae-su recalls on his final day at Sangnok High School, before transferring to Seoul, he saw Lee Woo-jin taking photos of his sister, Lee Soo-ah. Following them, he witnessed their intimate relationship. They noticed Dae-su watching, but he left without confronting them. Instead, he confided in Ju Hwan, inadvertently sparking the rumors that would later devastate Sua's life. In the present, Dae-su shares the full truth with Mi-do, recounting the events that led to his imprisonment. Resolving to end the torment, he confronts Lee Woo-jin at his penthouse. Dae-su disposes of Lee Woo-jin's men. As the two men finally speak, Dae-su accuses Lee Woo-jin of using hypnosis to erase his memory of the events from school. However, Lee Woo-jin denies this, claiming that Dae-su simply forgot on his own. Lee Woo-jin explains how the rumor about his incestuous relationship with his sister, Lee Sua, spread uncontrollably. The gossip escalated to the point where everyone began claiming that Sua was pregnant. Even she started to believe it. Her body responded psychosomatically, her period stopped, and her belly began to swell. Dae-su, horrified, asks if that was the reason Lee Woo-jin killed his sister. Dae-su believes that while others claimed she was alone at the dam, it was Lee Woo-jin who photographed her and ultimately pushed her off. Lee Woo-jin, however, dismisses the accusation and shifts the conversation to reveal a chilling truth. He had orchestrated Dae-su and Mi-do's relationship through hypnosis. Lee Woo-jin explains that both Dae-su and Mi-do were implanted with post-hypnotic suggestions. He ensured that Dae-su would seek out Mi-do by compelling him to visit her restaurant immediately upon his release. Specific ringtones triggered his actions, and certain phrases he uttered prompted Mi-do to behave in predetermined ways. With precision and malice, Lee Woo-jin manipulated their emotions, crafting their bond to serve his intricate plan for vengeance. Lee Woo-jin explains that every time Mi-do held Dae-su's hand, it was an action triggered by hypnosis, causing him to collapse. He continues, taunting Dae-su by pointing out that Dae-su kept asking why he was locked away, but the real question he should have been asking is why he was ever released in the first place. Lee Woo-jin presents a gift box to Dae-su. Inside, Dae-su finds his family album, which contains photos of his daughter growing up over the years. However, the shocking truth is revealed. His daughter in the pictures is none other than Mi-do. The revelation leaves Dae-su in stunned disbelief as the horrific reality of Lee Woo-jin's manipulation and revenge sinks in. Consumed by rage, Dae-su attempts to attack Lee Woo-jin, but Lee Woo-jin remains calm, revealing a chilling piece of information. Park is still working for him. He threatens to reveal the truth to Mi-do. Desperate, Dae-su contacts Mi-do over the phone. She informs him that there is a gift box in front of her, and Park is urging her to open it. In a panic, Dae-su pleads with her not to open the box. In a final act of desperation, Dae-su begs Lee Woo-jin not to tell Mi-do the truth. He promises Lee Woo-jin that he will do anything at all, to keep the secret from Mi-do. In a final, desperate attempt to appease Lee Woo-jin, Dae-su begins to bark like a dog, offering to become his puppy. He humiliates himself further by licking Lee Woo-jin's boot in submission. Lee Woo-jin laughs at his degradation, amused by Dae-su's desperation. However, Dae-su reaches his breaking point, and in a symbolic act of self-punishment, cuts off his own tongue to stop himself from talking too much. Lee Woo-jin, still in control, calls Park and instructs him to keep the gift box closed, seemingly content with the tension. But Dae-su, in a fit of defiance, grabs the heart remote from Lee Woo-jin's possession and presses the button, expecting to end Lee Woo-jin's life. Instead, to his shock, the remote does not kill Lee Woo-jin. Instead, it activates a tape, one that contains an audio recording of Dae-su and Mi-do making out. Lee Woo-jin asks Dae-su if he and Mi-do, knowing their shared history, could truly love each other the way he and his sister did, despite the knowledge of their relation. In a poignant flashback, Lee Woo-jin's true feelings for his sister come to light. Rather than pushing her off the dam as Dae-su initially believed, Lee Woo-jin had tried to save her. Having exacted his revenge and driven Dae-su to the brink of madness, Lee Woo-jin, consumed by his pain and the weight of his actions, shoots himself in the head, bringing an end to his vengeful crusade. In the film's haunting conclusion, Dae-su sends a letter to a hypnotist, recounting his tragic story and requesting that she erase his memory, hoping to escape the torment of his past. The next scene shows Dae-su waking up in a snow-covered field, seemingly free from the weight of his previous life. Mi-do arrives, and the two embrace. As they hold each other, Dae-su smiles, but the expression is painful and ambiguous, leaving the audience to question whether he has truly forgotten everything or if the memories still linger within him. Please like and subscribe the channel for more videos like these.